my first withdrawal, seizure. That was very scary. In a cell by myself, and we were not watched over. I didn't know what they had a schedule when they needed to do that rotation. Because in prison, they do it every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't once see a CO come by unless it was to pass out trays. So, but, I could have missed them in between, but they clearly didn't stop, seizures from happening or anything.
Millie makes songs, hey, I made this one. Jerry builds bikes and they go real fast. They're mental defectives. Welcome to the Mental Defectives podcast, a show where we interview interesting individuals with a focus on addiction and mental health. I'm your host, Millie Graham. That's Millie if you know me, Mr. Graham if you know me. Joined, as always, by the hoedown of Harleys,
nice.
The gearhead with the heart of gold.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Jerry with a G.
I'm glad to be here, man.
And today...
Hold on. You should hit that like and subscribe button if you dig what we do.
Mental Defectives Podcast, wherever you social media, because that's where we is. Mental Defectives Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We are there because today we have an extremely special guest. She's a sober mother and second-degree black belt. She can beat your ass as easily as she can clean your house. Please welcome the sweeping wheel of recovery, Allie. Allie, how's it going?
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming and making the drive down here. We appreciate it, and you're an old podcast pro.
Oh, getting there.
You might recognize her from Locked In with Ian Bick or Honor Among Thieves.
Yes.
But today we've got the exclusive here, so don't watch either of those videos first. Watch ours first, and then you can go watch those.
Yeah.
Allie, where are you from?
I'm originally from Akron, Ohio.
Oh, the motherland.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
nice.
Rubber City.
Our viewers know.
Right.
And then when was the first drink?
16.
Yeah.
Like full, the Smirnoff.
Oh yeah.
Like that you can't
sure.
stomach as an adult now because it's so sugary, but it tasted good back then.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
How did that go?
Oh, high school party. You pretend to drink a lot, like you're going through a six-pack. So it's like, okay, you get the cold drink, and once it gets warm, you just dump it out, go to the next one, say you have your second one. And then you just kind of build from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where did drinking pick up from there? Did you start a lot of people they have the first drink and it's like, oh, I want to do this every fucking day, or I want to do this weekends. How did that go for you?
It started so when I was living at home with my dad, he's very micromanaged in a way, being a single dad raising my brother and I didn't have time to really mess around. I was taking care of my brother. I was still under the age of 18, and my brother needed a lot of help. He's mentally slow. So not even in high school yet. He's in middle school, elementary, low elementary, reading, any type of comprehensive speech. He needed a lot of help. And it weighs on me as a teenager. Definitely a form of birth control, raising this.
Sure. Yeah.
And, it was definitely a lot of stress for me. And once I was 18, I was like, I don't really have anyone to answer to. I'm going to do what I want. What's my dad going to do? Ground me? That was my mindset. I would go out drinking. I could get into places, I was under 21. My friends that are 21 and over, I could get in and I would just drink, not knowing how much I could do. Anytime there was an opportunity to drink, I went for it.
Yep.
But there was a time, when I became a mother at, 22, I stopped. And then when the custody battle started, that was a nightmare. I started medication, and then I mixed the alcohol with the medication, and that's what I enjoed. The benzodiazepine and the alcohol.
Oh, you just got to double down on it.
I was cheaper to do it that way. So.
Yeah. Was that your first introduction to benzos?
Yeah.
Was it 22 getting a legit prescription? Or?
Oh, no, I didn't get the prescription until, hold on, when was it?
Okay.
2017.
Right.
It was 2017.
I've been sober too long. Yeah. I'm like, well, you have to have a prescription to get drugs, right? Oh, my God.
2017 is the first time I was introduced to that.
Okay.
Legally.
Okay.
And,
okay, so then you've got a new baby. You've got a custody battle going on.
So the baby was 2010.
Okay.
The custody battle started 14, 15, but I thought I was handling it well. I had a good support group and everything. When my son wasn't with me, I'd go out drinking.
Oh, yeah.
And I still had that energy to where I was like, okay, I can get up, do this all over again, and I'll nap when he naps. So I had a system worked out. When he stopped napping, I stopped doing that. But anytime he'd go to my mom's or my dad's, I would go out and have fun. But once the custody battle got bad, where he was spending time with his dad, I was like, I had never been away from him for a long period of time, and I would just sulk and, cry of like, I didn't know how to function without him at that point.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, okay, what do I do next? And his dad was just every little thing, you're a bad person. But when we were together, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I just went down, like just feeling like the worst person from like the best person. And that's when I started forming bad habits. Being put down just really weighs on you. So definitely lost my self-esteem going through that with his dad.
And is this when like the drinking and benzos like really pick up? Because now you've got, if he's at his dad's half the time or however much time, then you've got a couple days in a row you can string together of.
So when was this? So I technically could have got his dad on kidnapping charges in 2014 or 2015. I could have got his dad on kidnapping charges, but I didn't want, I was still protecting his dad because that's his father. I didn't want to be without either one of my parents. So I was trying to do the same thing, as a parent.
Yeah.
So I decided, I was in college at the time. I took 14 credit hours that summer. So he got to spend time with his dad. I got to, go to school. It's a win-win, for him. So I thought. And when he was due back to come to me after the summer, I get Children's Services showing up at my door saying, I abused my kid. I was like, he just came back today. They're like, oh no, back in June. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, back in June. I was like, when was this reported? They're like, yesterday. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it hurt my feelings at that point. So it was a nonstop battle because the courts didn't want to listen. It's like, okay, you've got the person that's the squeaky wheel that's just going to keep going, filing this, going this. Anything, even like personal pictures I would send to his dad when we were together, like, the explicit, pictures.
Yeah.
He'd print those up and said, this is, she sent this to someone. We didn't have screenshot or anything yet. So this is before screenshots. And that devastated me. I was like, those pictures were for us and you're saying this. I started losing it. Like, you're ultimately, we're my, best friend. Now you've betrayed me to my wit's end.
Yeah.
And he just didn't stop. Let one conversation, I'm going to get you for that. I'm like, there's no reasoning with him. And I started lashing out at him, letting him know how crappy of a person he was. Didn't help, but it was making me feel better.
No, right.
So when I wasn't, when I would needed time to try and recover, emotionally, and I was seeing a therapist and everything, I was just like, when he would go visit his dad, I was like, when's the next children's service, report going to show up?
Yeah.
18 reports and nothing. 18. That's wasting the taxpayer dollars. And that just weighs on you. So once he went to go stay with his dad for a school year, I was working full time, going to school. I was like, let's see how this plays out. And so, I was on Dean's list 3 semesters in a row. I was like, okay, I can get my bachelor's degree and go for my master's too.
Yeah.
Things are looking up now that his dad's, we're trying this co-parenting thing. You can't co-parent with someone that doesn't want to co-parent. So then when I saw, the children's service reports kept coming in. Sorry, I had a burp. I was in a serious relationship, and we had just bought a house in 2016, 2017. Beautiful home. Loved it. There was a room for my son. I never introduced my son until, I was serious with this guy. So 6 to 8 months in our relationship, I introduced them. And I had known him, I've known him for over 20 years, the guy I was with. And then the reports kept going saying that we abused him again. There was no findings, and my son he's like, I don't know, because he didn't want to, conflict between both parents.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'm just like, I'm not going to pressure him to answer. Kids at that age don't have, a sense of time. And
You
you
can't
don't
ask
want...
a 5-year-old what happens. Did this happen 6 months ago?
Right.
No, you can't.
But when Children's Services showed up in my house, it was the same. You have the same caseworker. He doesn't even say hi. He goes, "You want me to go down there and beat his ass?" And I was like, that's saying something when Children's Services comes over, like, all right, let's do this again.
Yeah.
All findings shows there's nothing. There's nothing. So he never made a police report. This is the kicker. He never made a police report. We presented that in court. They didn't do anything. So it was like, what do we do? What do we do from here? They're like, it's still open. And financially, it was draining. So when I realized I saw no progress, I had to numb it somehow because nothing was working. So
No doubt.
that was rough.
Yeah.
You know.
So that's when the benzos came in. Yeah.
Yep. Started drinking more. And my boyfriend, who I was serious with, we had a house together. He'd have to come pick me up. I said, I am too drunk to drive. And he was, patient, tolerant, of me. He goes, okay, I'll come get you. And he tried to there's pictures. And I have them saved on my phone where I'm passed out drunk next to the bed. At the bottom of the stairs. And I was like, not so proud moments. And this is what I don't want to look like. 100 times later, I'm still doing that.
Right.
Because I was just depressed at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like the benzo alcohol is just like the blackout combo,
I've
like
lost-
speed running a blackout.
Lost
like,
days on
Oh,
benzos.
yeah. Easy. Okay, so
Yeah.
then how long does this process go for? So you've got like the custody battle going on, the drinking, the benzos. What benzos did they have you on?
Clonazepam.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll
Yeah.
do it. And then how long did this cycle kind of go on for?
So it wasn't bad until like 2020 when during COVID, I couldn't
Yeah.
see my son. That's when things started to pick up. Like I had it balanced,
Passing out at the end of your bed, balance.
If I'm in the house,
Yeah, right.
I don't have a
At
problem.
least she's calling him like when she's drunk, like not driving.
Yeah, that's
that's a
yeah.
huge
Right.
plus.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I had
my ass would be driving.
When I was 18, I learned the hard way. Like, I don't know how. I got home, I drove my dad's truck, and I parked it in the front yard.
Ah. Yeah.
And
Done that.
yeah, and I'm like,
Oh,
that
shit.
was so scary.
Yeah.
Not saying I didn't do it again, but that
Yeah.
was the worst.
Yeah.
That was the worst. And but 2020, COVID, I'm stuck at work. And I'm literally living at work because I was in the process of moving right before COVID hit. And so I have everything packed up, getting ready to sign. I signed my lease. I paid the deposit, just waiting to move in because I had to clear out that apartment. Nope, office isn't open, nothing. I couldn't, go forward with that because they couldn't finish cleaning. They couldn't, the office hours, it was non-existent. So all my stuff was in storage. I was living at work.
Where's work?
I worked for Department of Children and Families.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I worked with Agency of Persons with Disabilities and Department of Children and Families. So how could I get a job working for Department of Children and Families if I'm such a crappy mom?
Yeah.
Right.
Explain that to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so me and my dogs lived at work on the job site. Couldn't see my son. That's when it got bad.
The Mental Defectives podcast is brought to you by Milligram's new single, a grungy pop punk emo anthem for the ages. Listen to Milligram's new single on all streaming platforms.
So I'd walk, they still had some bars open, not legally. So you just go in through the back door and you're there.
Right.
And there's videos. I'm like, we took that video? Oh my God, this is during COVID. Where technically Florida was shut down for a little bit. And
Okay, so you're living in Florida at this time?
yes, I was living in Florida.
Okay.
So so my dose was 1 to 2 milligrams a day, up to that. I'm popping like 4 milligrams a day, if not
Oh,
more. And then having
Even-
one or two drinks.
I was gonna say even 1 or 2 milligrams with drinking is gonna be rough,
yeah.
but yeah, cranking that up to 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What prompted the move to Florida?
So employment, my son's father was down there.
Okay, yeah.
And I was dumb enough to believe that, we're on a good path at this point. And I was stupid enough. So the person, I'm reading this book by Jefferson Fisher called The Next Conversation. And it's like the person you see is not the person you're talking to. I wish that book existed in 2018. So, and it didn't. But I was fooled. He goes, okay, let's, work together as parents. I was like, finally, finally. And no, just to get down there and be like, oh, psych, we're going to go back to, I'm going to make this hell for you. To where we had 50-50. Not anymore. He's going to make it as difficult as he could. And I remember going boating, taking my son, letting him know, this is 2018, the summer of 2018. And he's supposed to go back to his dad's Sunday night. And we're going boating in the morning. I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We need to get back to your dad's by this time. And you could just hear him and I was like, what? He goes, nothing. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I don't want to go back. And I was like, why? He goes, I miss you, okay? And I'm like, trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
I was like, see, I know, because his dad would say, our son, hates you. I'm like, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
When he said that, I was like, yes. I know he could show me all the love, everything like that, but when you hear it,
Yeah.
It just makes it feel real.
Okay, so we're down in Florida, and then you're not seeing your son at this point, and drinking, using. How does that lead us to a I don't know how to phrase that. an interesting night out of the club.
Oh, so that was 2019.
Okay, so now we're moving up to 2019.
Yeah, before so I came to Ohio the end of April 2019. And I still wasn't so I moved to Florida June of 2018 to make this work. Not in a relationship with his dad, but
Just the shared custody
Yeah.
and
Right.
co-parenting, yeah.
And I dropped everything to do that. And I come back to Ohio realizing I shouldn't have left. My support system's up here. Everyone in Florida is different. It's the Bible Belt. They're at that, they're behind on modern. So they don't believe in divorce. They don't believe in, gay, none of that. It's the Bible Belt. So I came up realizing what I left, and I was not okay. And I'm reminded. So I went to the club, and I'd worked there at Hustlers before I left. I was a dancer. And never knew this girl that my friend introduced me to. And she'd only been there 2 weeks. And I had not mixed, close together when it came to alcohol and benzos yet. So when I was introduced in 2017 to benzos, did not mix until 2019. So to put a better timeline together, 2019 is when I mixed it.
Okay.
Close together.
Yeah.
So because of my schedule as a martial artist and not having much free time, I took it when I had to face my son's father and things like that. So 2019, my first 1 milligram of benzos mixed with 1 glass of alcohol, I blacked out.
That'll do it.
Sure.
But the girl, I hadn't, if I remember correctly, because it's so vague now, that I hadn't drank yet. But I'm in the bathroom and she's sketchy. From the time I met her, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. She came from Christie's Cabaret on the other side of Cleveland.
Chris, that's where you used to work, right? Yeah, he's nodding yes. Okay.
So, didn't think about it. I was like, well, if you get fired from Christie's, you must have done something. Because you just don't up and leave. When you have regulars, you're not going to leave that place. It's more of a pain in the butt to get, transfer over to another club. You're going to stay where the money's at.
Yeah.
You got fired. I know this. So she tried to steal my purse in the bathroom. So when you walk into the bathroom, sinks are on the left, hand dryers are on the right. So I literally just turned around to use a hand dryer. My purse was sitting right there. She tried to grab it, and I'm just like, nope. I'm like, back off.
Yeah.
So, and I told the manager that. He's keeping an eye on her. Well, now that alcohol is, it's starting to intensify now that I've, combined the two.
Right.
Like, wait, maybe I need to go tell her something about herself. Like,
I made it noticeable that I did not like her. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't get a dance from her. She's going to steal money from you. That was me. So I wasn't helping the situation. And so at the end of the night, she's just running her mouth. And so I start running my mouth back. No filter.
Yeah.
Sober me would not have done that.
yeah.
Sure.
She comes at me, the video, clear as day, her coming at me with a stiletto. I block her with my right leg. And she comes to swing at me again. I punch her right in her face, go to take her down. I mean, she had a hold of me by my hair. It was not an easy match. She actually did put up a fight.
Yeah.
But that one blow to the face, I got her nose.
Oh, sure.
And
You dropped.
yeah, there was no bouncers in the room, nothing.
I was gonna say, is this out on the floor?
No, this is in the dressing room.
Okay.
Dressing
But I could
room.
still go up there. I could still
Sure.
go up there because, I used to
Yeah.
work there.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Now, if you blocked a stiletto with your, I mean, was this like a roundhouse kick or?
Oh, no,
what?
I
What?
literally, I did this and pushed forward. So it was like a block and push.
Okay.
And then, it's in her hand, and then she starts to back up and drops it, and I
Right.
just kept
I'm
going.
picturing a good Lyoto Machado front, just front kick, hell yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so you were back in the dressing room. There's no bouncers back there. How does this resolve or get broken up, or she just
She
runs
got
out of
her
steam?
nose
or
broke, bro. It's done.
The girls separate us.
Okay.
Separate
Okay.
us. Then, it's what felt like forever.
Yeah.
Then, the floor guys, bouncers come in.
Mm-hmm.
But they had already separated us. We're done.
Yeah.
So I could have kept going.
Yeah.
But they separated us, and I didn't want to keep going.
Right.
I'm just like, I dropped what I was doing. I'm just like, done. I can't speak for her except clearly she's cleaning up the blood on her face, calling me names, and I'm saying something back. But it wasn't like we were going to go again.
Sure.
Because when you see in the video, she's holding back and my arms are dropped, and that's not showing you're ready to go again.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter how many
Right.
times you watch that video. So that's how that's started. And I told the manager to watch the video. You see her coming at me, and she called the police, and they did too. And I was like, you guys saw it, her coming at me. It's
Yeah.
because I broke her nose, whatever.
Yeah.
So the police are there. They don't have me in handcuffs. They're just trying to get, both sides of the story. And she goes, you need to arrest her, blah, blah, blah. They're like, well, you need to go to the hospital, get evaluated, and we can press charges, things like that. But we weren't going to arrest her at this point.
Yeah.
They asked her 27 times on the video. It's like a 2-hour video. And I was like, this is terrible. Trying to, if I was a police officer, within 30 minutes or less, I'd be like, if you don't pick, we're not, going to move forward here.
Yeah.
But so she goes, well, I remember the video saying, if that makes, guarantees she's arrested, I'll go. She wasn't going to go.
Right.
And that's very suspicious.
Yeah.
So she left against medical advice. I was wondering why. And then, just jumping and not getting into details yet, 2020, when I was presented with a lawsuit during COVID, the end of 2020, because clearly she's not working during COVID.
Yeah.
You had over a year, less than a year, to file a civil lawsuit against me and the club. Why now? Because you're without money.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then we found out from she filed as a Jane Doe. And then we've hired
She filed a civil suit against you as a Jane Doe?
yes, and the club. And then the private investigator that the attorney for the club had, and me, because this opens it all.
Yeah,
She had
yeah.
6 different identities. So that's why she didn't want to go to the hospital. And then I
Sure.
end up, I was on the city side of jail. And that was my first time behind bars.
Do they take you to jail that night?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And this is your first time in jail? Okay.
Yeah.
First time
Yeah.
in jail.
Okay.
May of 2019.
Oh man.
What was that like the first time?
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Sucked.
The food's crappy. I don't recommend
yeah.
it.
No.
you
Right.
know? Then I started to go through withdrawal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I know I was with it when I started to feel the pain in my head. They sent me down to medical. The doctor gave me 2 milligrams of benzodiazepine. So clearly in 2019, that was allowed. So I go back to sleep. I was like, okay, headache's gone, feeling better.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, the detective comes and wakes me up for an interview.
Oh shit.
I'm high as a kite right now,
Right.
and now you want to interview? Oh, that was a fun video to watch.
Yeah, I bet.
High as
Oh,
hell.
and you got to watch all this shit back.
Yeah, right.
That makes it worse watching the video.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
That's
sure.
like the one thing, like in any kind of like legal proceeding, they tell you like if you don't want it read out loud to you in a open court of law, don't write it down. Like, so you can say it, but you don't want to write it down. You definitely don't want it on video.
Definitely not on
like,
video.
oh man.
Yeah, I don't remember ever hearing that in court, but you know.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay, so the detectives, and then are they even saying like you're intoxicated at this point, so they can't legally interrogate you, or like it's a witness in duress or whatever? Like,
So the video shows, and it does not surprise me I said this. I go, I'm under the influence of benzos. I go, so you can't interview me. I go, and he says something smart. I'm like, it is 2:30 in the morning. I go, and they gave me benzodiazepine. I was like, why couldn't you wait till normal business hours? So something like that.
Yeah, right,
That
right.
information is on video of me saying this. And he said something. And he's like, you did this. I'm like, I go, you can't use this in court.
Right.
I'm just going off. And so I was like, I've had enough. I'm going to go back to my cell. So I get up. He goes, I'm not done with you. I go, well, I'm done with you. Bye. And I walk back to my cell, and I realized I did not have handcuffs on. I'm like, I didn't think about it then, but I'm like,
Right.
the CO asked, he goes, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. But I went back to my cell, and he locked the door, and
That was
the
that.
interview didn't go over so well. Never got interviewed after that.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
interesting.
Yeah.
So then how long, this is just county?
no, so technically it was city side.
Okay.
So I know counties, there's difference between phone time and the amount it costs. Apparently it's free when you're in city, not free when you're in county. That's from what I was told in where I was at. And so it was Friday night that happened.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was in there
Yeah, of
all
course it's
weekend.
Friday night. Yeah. Right.
So Monday,
Yeah.
in my arraignment,
Yeah.
me and a couple other girls, and I'm looking at all like the red jumpsuits, the orange, the girls are in blue, and this guy is like 6'7", chained up, ankles, everything, and I have I'm not familiar with the legal system at all. I was like, that is a lot. He was only there for a DUI, and they have him shackled up like that. The one guy only has cuffs in front of him, and he was there for, murder of 3 people, 2 adults, a kid, and a dog.
Oh,
But he's
God.
only
Not the
handcuffed.
dog.
Yeah, he's only handcuffed. It was a carjacking. I
Oh.
remember, and I'm listening. I was like, he only gets handcuffed at the wrist, and this guy's shackled up for a DUI.
Right.
Not knowing he might have been a problem that led him to
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Right,
I'm just like,
right.
oh, this is so unfair.
Yeah.
It took
Yeah.
me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I got my charges, got bailed out, and I just felt like crap after that. I was like, man, this is hear the snoring.
Got some chihuahua snoring going on
Right.
in the background. We're good.
But yeah, I didn't know what to do afterwards, except I went back to Florida, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm supposed to go about my life now until that's the thing. They let me go back. They're like, okay, bond, attorney, this, okay, she can go back home. I'm already a Florida resident. Been a Florida resident since August of 2018. So yeah, driver's license, registration, in Florida.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they let me go back. And somehow something got interpreted, there was some type of miscommunication where that I caught the charges before I moved to Florida. I decided to move to Florida. I was like, no, that's not how that happened. So
Right.
that was the story from the beginning of how the judge understood it.
Oh.
And I was like,
Yeah.
this doesn't look good.
Right.
At all.
It looks like you're running.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need an escape charge or,
Right.
anything like that, whatever they call those. And, I didn't realize that had a major effect on the proceeding moving forward, that they assumed I moved out of state after this happened. So
then you get back down to Florida, and then you're just waiting on like a future indictment or like a arraignment hearing or
yeah.
what?
Oh, no, I already had the arraignment hearing. This is, what was it? Oh, God, it's been so long. Something along the lines of, a hearing moving forward. If I want to waive my right to a speedy trial, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't exactly explain to me.
What kind of attorney do you have at this point? Are you public defender? Are you private attorney?
Private attorney, criminal defense attorney.
Okay.
And he when I first met him, he was a former prosecutor. I was like, okay, he had a good reputation.
Yeah.
And so he saw my driver's license and everything, because I met him before I went back to Florida after I got out. And he goes, Tallahassee. He goes, is that why you picked me? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I saw his diploma and everything. He graduated from Florida State University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I wouldn't have picked you if that was the case. Just joking around.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, he came up here from Florida, and he practiced law at Cleveland State. So I was like, well, I should have done a little more research, but, you had a good record. But he didn't really...
Yeah, that's a huge... So for any of our viewers or listeners out there, if you're getting an attorney... If they leave one state, if they're a practicing attorney in one state and then move to another state, that means some shit went down, because if you move states, your license doesn't move with you. You've got to pass the Ohio bar after you've been practicing in Florida for so long.
True.
Yeah.
That's a big red flag.
Yeah. Well, lesson learned.
But you wouldn't know that unless you were like well versed in the legal system.
Right.
So I mean, how would you know?
Yeah. So that was a hard lesson. I didn't know he didn't. When I asked him questions about, so what's the, waiver for the speedy trial, didn't know it'd take about 20 years, give or take 3 years, that, you'd be on a waiting list for trial. Like, maybe I should have done a speedy trial. But he didn't explain that to me.
Yeah.
He waived my, when they offered me a plea deal, he turned that down for me. And I'm like, oh no. Like, I didn't...
Without even speaking to you.
Yeah. He literally walks in with his tablet with his Louis Vuitton, bag and, case. He goes, oh, we got this on video. Her charging at you. We got this. We're going to trial. Okay.
Cool.
I took his word for it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize there was a plea deal.
What was the plea deal?
Like F4, aggravated assault or something, or an F5. I can't remember, but it wasn't offered to me, so it was like, I think an F4.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me till the judge said, you should have taken that plea deal, and I'm like, what?
What plea deal?
Yeah. Oh, I was so mad.
And are you drinking and using during this period?
Oh, yes.
Because
Yes,
Sure.
I was.
Yeah.
Because it's just, no matter how much, and it's something I learned, in the rooms, going to meetings and things like that, I learned after I got out that you cannot control the way they move, moving forward. It's like, even if, you want to be heard, it's on their time and if they want to listen.
Yep.
Because, you're not the only one. However, if you're going to pay money, I want good representation. And I want someone competent instead of going to the courtroom and okay, I was like, are we ready, for this hearing? What do I need to prepare for? Oh, no, we got this. That's not what I see, and I hear other people talk about how to prep for this.
Yeah.
And so the judge is asking him questions, and it's coming from him. I'm sitting there like,
oh shit.
God. And the judge even said, I forget what, this had to have been like 2021 or something. 2022. Oh no, 2021. He goes, Mr. So-and-so, he goes, I hope you're ready for trial than you are right now.
The Mental Defectives podcast is proudly brought to you by the House of Hope. Since 1959, the House of Hope has provided substance use disorder treatment focused on long-term recovery.
Services include short and long-term residential treatment for men, certified recovery housing, and outpatient programs for men and women, using individual and group counseling, CBT, DBT, adventure therapy, financial literacy, and employment services. House of Hope helps individuals rebuild their lives.
Visit hofhope.org or call today to schedule a consultation.
Now let's get back to the episode.
Because this isn't giving me the vote of confidence. And I was like, I'm screwed. So I was looking, it was 2022. So I was looking for another attorney at that point, and I found one. And I already, at that point, I had a bunch of documents supporting, before I found out about the plea deal, things that were falsified. I have a whole binder. I still have a second book filled with everything, and because I submitted the first half to the Bar Association. They don't investigate unless you have something legit to show them.
Right.
And he got in trouble.
Yeah.
And I was like, to know what I know now, I should have kept pressing.
Right.
And but at that point, I'd be fighting for something else when I have my own case.
You got your own shit to work. Yeah, right. This ain't.
But I was so mad. I was like, he deserves to lose his job. That was my mentality.
Yeah.
Instead of just letting things go that I couldn't control.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're drinking, using. Is this amplified, like the drinking and using of like dealing with this? What kind of like quantities are we talking about?
So I had a prescription for Adderall.
Okay.
So I was taking that. So it's fire and ice.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
Adderall, benzos.
Yeah. So, have a hard night between the drinking. I was like, okay, something's going to go down. Right now, I do not care because everything's at a standstill. I'm going to go enjoy myself.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what to expect next. And I would take benzos and I, would do cocaine as well. And then just keep going. I don't know how I survived mixing cocaine and benzos and alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know how I managed that.
And then
in the morning, I would take, 30 grams of Adderall to start my day, drink coffee, and I'd be about my day.
The Mental Defectives podcast is brought to you by Ride Sober, an online community for sober bikers.
At RideXSober on social media and RideXSober.com.
Check them out today for apparel like t-shirts, hoodies, hats, riding gloves, and garage banners.
Ride sober, boldly sober.
Boldly sober.
Well, I'm awaiting trial.
Yeah.
So... Damn. I was like, I want, my life to be as normal as possible. Let's just function right now.
Yeah.
That's all I thought about, not what to really do.
Yeah.
Moving forward, just how can I function? And I'm still working. I'm still working at this point.
Yeah.
No one's caught on.
Wow.
No one has caught on.
And so how does the trial go? How long is the...
It doesn't even take a whole day, after picking the jury. Because I had 48 hours to prepare for trial with a new attorney.
Ooh. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the attorney doesn't want to just like pop in the video and hit play and say like...
He was literally like, so when I got that, I said I had an attorney because we had another hearing to dismiss or him to remove himself, my current attorney, from the case. And so the judge literally said, okay, approved, and didn't ask me if I wanted an attorney because I said, hey, I have one. He goes, oh no, you're getting one I assigned to you. I was like, I didn't not have a say in it. And it shows on the docket, it was court appointed. And it was one of his friends, the judge's friends.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, well, so he gave me all the, documents, that the attorneys get. It says, consult only. I have 800, it's a stack. I still have it. Everything I'm not supposed to have that was just given to me to help speed up this process. I'm like, you can't fit 3 years into 48 hours.
Right.
And so when I was going through that, I was like, there's no way we'll be prepared. And the attorney was working Saturday to help move this along. And we couldn't file another continuance. It's been 3 years. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm done. Oh, it's about 3.5 years. So
Damn.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm exhausted. Whatever
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as I'm high.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So what did happen?
So the jury was picked. One guy, the rest were girls. And the next day came back. They had it like they didn't present the video, the lawsuit, because she lost the lawsuit.
The civil suit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Did she appear for the trial?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
She looked. I was like, you didn't even recognize her because she's had so much plastic surgery. Did not recognize her. And that
I'm struggling to think what her motivation for like pursuing, not dropping criminal charges after losing a civil suit.
ego,
Like
Yeah.
uneducated,
yeah, like
something.
I understand, like, if I'm going to file a civil suit, I'm going to file a criminal also, like, press charges to try and, like, bolster my civil suit and cash out.
But she's doing this like anonymously.
Yeah, Jane Doe.
Yeah. But so what?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
And when they they tried to serve me before we go on the trial part. When they tried to serve me, I was supposed to appear in court 4 days. You know, I got it 4 days after I was supposed to be there, so I was a no-show to court, and they didn't serve me until like October something, and it was for September of 2020. And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Right.
And I was like, "I don't know who dragged this out." But they served me at work. It's like, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was not
Right.
cool.
Okay, so you go to trial. They pick the jury in the morning. They break for lunch, and then they convict you.
I think it's, if I remember correctly, but my brain is foggy.
I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Right.
We'll give you some leeway on the
Yeah.
particulars here.
So if I remember correctly, they picked the jury in the morning, and we came back the next day.
Okay.
So my anxiety can't handle this. I'm just popping.
Oh
Benzos.
yeah.
So when a couple things I heard on the stand, this girl said she went to Case Western University, all this stuff, like that she has a college education, all the notes that should have been presented at the trial, she doesn't have anything past a high school education. I forget which, and they even brought up, so what is your actual identity? She goes, well, I changed it because I didn't want to be called Karen anymore. That's exactly what she said on the stand. Because I was like, ask her.
Yeah,
I was bugging
right.
the attorney. I
Yeah.
was like, we need to know about these 6 identities.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the private investigator report that you are now allowed to use because it was presented with that civil suit and all 6 identities listed.
Yeah.
So she had no answer for that, but they just let it slide. And I reached out to my friend who went to Case Western. We didn't have enough time for them to go back through the roster of students that went the year.
Yeah.
'Cause I said,
Yeah.
ask her what year she graduated. I didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
Did not have enough time. When I get out of, fast forward it real quick about this. When I got out of prison, shows no, she was not there. Can't do anything about it now.
Right.
Can't do anything
Yeah.
about it. She was never a student there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the trial concludes. They find you guilty on
Felonious assault.
Felonious
assault.
Oh, during the break, I went to I already figured out that I was going to be found guilty because it was just.
You read the writing on the
Yeah,
wall.
you can figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
So I went. They said don't go too far. They were letting
Yeah,
me.
right.
So I walked like a block over to this Mexican restaurant, a nice one. Had 2 drinks, 2 tequila drinks.
Yeah. Right.
There
And
you
I was
go.
like,
Yeah.
I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I walked my drunk butt back
Yeah.
over there, and I was like, "Yep, knew it." And he's like, "They're probably gonna take you straight from here down to county." I was like, "Shit."
Great.
And apparently I said some stuff to the officers. I was like, "No, I didn't." It's like, "No, I didn't." They're like, "Oh yeah, you did." I was like, "Was I being violent?" They're like, "No." They're like, "You were just talking back." I was like, I think I would have known if I talked back, but I really
Well.
don't know.
Yeah.
So
Did they take you to jail straight from the court?
Yep. Yeah. That and I drove myself, so my SUV is sitting in a parking lot collecting tickets for a couple days. So luckily I
Of
had
course.
someone come get it.
Yeah. Right.
So, it's like, I don't even know how much the tickets were. Never paid them.
So, so then you're in county, and then you start withdrawing.
From all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Cold turkey.
That was a terrible experience. I don't think I cried so hard in my life.
Yeah.
Throwing up.
Yeah.
I can only imagine the girls that were, in other cells and they're going through withdrawal from heroin and whatever else.
Yeah, but from benzo withdrawal, you can die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
I was having seizures too.
did they give you any kind of...
No.
No.
Got halfway through my question and realized I was dumb.
No.
Yeah, it's no, nothing.
Yeah.
This psychiatrist came in and he goes, "You were on this," and he's listing the anxiety medication, the depression medication, the Adderall, the benzos, things like that, and he goes, "You are way above Ohio's standards of what dose would be. Florida's regulations doesn't
A lot
matter.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, they would never, never allow you to have, this much anxiety medication, depression, benzos, Adderall.
Yeah.
I mean, they legally prescribed, down south, 90 milligrams of Adderall a day. I don't know how I got to that, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And then.
a lot.
So that withdrawal was bad.
Yeah.
They had me on a very low dose of anxiety, depression medication, and something for migraines. They dropped a lot down because I was being treated for chronic migraines and stuff like that. And to take all that off too, it felt like my head was going to explode.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
So between everything that I was prescribed and things that I was, overusing too, I was like, my first withdrawal, seizure. That was very scary. In a cell by myself, and we were not watched over. I didn't know what they had a schedule when they needed to do that rotation, because in prison they do it every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't once see a CO come by unless it was to pass out trays. So, but I could have missed them in between, but they clearly didn't stop seizures from happening or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
that was terrible.
Yeah.
And they had to let me go through 10 days of all this before they transferred me to a trustee pod while I was in county. So it was the COVID medical floor, so like half and half. You couldn't come out of your cell, for COVID protocols. I was
Right.
I felt like a dog in a kennel. I was like, I'm never setting my dogs in kennels.
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like this is miserable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So,
So they keep you in there for 10 days
yes.
to sweat all your stuff out.
And to make sure I didn't test positive
and no
for COVID.
COVID stuff.
And they did a HIV test, blood
Yeah.
test, hepatitis test
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
So,
And then you go into your regular.
trustee pod with like 48 other girls.
Okay.
In like an open
It's like an
gym
open
style
Yeah.
thing. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's
How was that?
Yeah. How was that?
it was
You get
like
a top bunk or a bottom bunk?
I wanted a bottom, so it was a top was available, so I did it. And then once a bottom became available, I went to it, so I didn't have to keep jumping up and down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So but we were that group in the corner that you couldn't stand because we were up all night. Because I've made friends with some of them,
Yeah.
and we were up talking all night.
Yeah.
And they're like, shut up, and CO doesn't care.
Right. They don't give a shit.
No,
Yeah.
so
And then how long were you there before they transfer you to prison?
3 weeks. I had to go
Okay.
back for my sentence. No, not. Was it sentencing? Yes.
Yeah.
So I got sentenced twice.
Okay.
So this is where I found out about the whole moving to Florida after this happened.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is where I'm like, what? Like, I'm talking to the judge, and I get slapped with 4 years. I was like, are you serious? And I'm
Damn.
still experiencing, this is like 2 weeks after.
So you're still not 100%.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't get my medicine yet that day either. So I'm really feeling
Yeah.
like crap.
Yeah.
And so he goes, you shouldn't have moved out of state after this or whatever. I said, did you even read the docket? And I called him incompetent at that point.
Oh.
I didn't
Yeah,
think so.
right.
I didn't
I
do
didn't
that.
get you double. Give you 8 years.
So that's when they brought me back the next day and added 2 years. So I got 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Didn't think that one through.
Yeah.
Oh my
Right.
God.
So, yeah.
What is that like? on day 2, what's that moment like when they read that off and it's 6 years, boom.
So
That's just got to be.
I think it was my first reaction to the 4 years is where I dropped.
Yeah.
You know, not just from the sentencing, but just feeling like crap.
Yeah.
And so they take me back, you know, to the, you know, they have to bring me my medication or, you know, send me to medical because I still hadn't, you know, received it yet. I'm like in a rage at this point. And this is after like the whole story of people calling me 60 days in.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm already irritated because that's going on.
Yeah.
I come back from sentencing, so I don't want to like call anyone, talk to anyone. But I go into where the phones are. So it's like a little bit of a secluded area, and I punch that brick wall. And I got scars from it and everything too, and it's split, bleeding. And the CO's like, you don't want to mess with someone like that because they can go, you know, postal on you or something like that. I'm like, well, that's kind of offensive because I'm normally like cool, calm, and collected. Just given the circumstances, I'm just not happy. I didn't take it out on someone else.
Right.
Just the brick wall. And my friend was a probation officer for this county. They called to check on me. And that was embarrassing because everyone's like, who's this cute guy? Who's this cute guy? And I just hung up on him. I was like, I don't want to talk, nothing. And then went back the next day to be sentenced again.
For 6 years this time.
Yeah, 4 to 6 years. Yep. Because it gave the tail end, like the Reagan-Tokes, something along those lines where if you screw up in prison, where it has to be something like new charges or something like that, where they'll add on the 2 years. So you have that 4 years if you don't have that judicial, you know, opportunity. But I did. But I would have served that 4 years if that wasn't, you know, offered to me. And if I would have screwed up within that 4 years, they would have tacked on the additional 2.
Gotcha.
So it's like, okay, I need to be on my best behavior for 4 years if that was the case.
Yeah. And is this federal or state?
State.
Oh, okay.
So I went to Dayton Corrections.
Okay.
I was in Marysville for like a month. 2 months? 2 months. 1 month at admissions, 1 month, you know, in general pop, and then went to Dayton Corrections for like the violent offenders and people that had more complex charges. You know, it's
What was that transition from Marysville to Dayton? Because you're in there for just one bad night, you know, like one
For
snap
breaking
decision.
somebody's nose.
Yeah.
You know?
that, you know, going to Dayton, they all said they're like, you'll like it better there than Marysville because it's, you know, 2-person cell. I was like, I'm still trying to adjust to being in an open dorm. And they weren't lying. They're like, it was better, even though there was more structure down there. And to be able to go to your own room instead of having to keep your eyes open and make sure that, you know, you're safe to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely better. It was better, you know, given my circumstances to be at Dayton Corrections versus Marysville.
And how was your time there in Dayton? So how much time did you end up spending in Dayton?
So the end of January through the end of June.
Okay.
So I did, so 2 months in Marysville and the rest in Dayton. And I was getting ready to level down. I was a level 2 straight up. And I went to be interviewed by the caseworker to see if I qualified to level down sooner to a level 1 to where I could transfer to a low security prison from max to low. So that would have been a big jump.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they more violent offenders, people that they were trying to make Dayton more focused on the more violent, unpredictable, more.
Sure.
No, put me in minimum security with the tax fraud guys. I don't need to be in a pod with murderers and
The murderers weren't so bad. So this is, I'm not kidding. So what was interesting, I didn't think about it till I got there. I saw like the hall pass list where you're scheduled. There's your inmate number, last name of, you know, wherever you need to go, like medical or, you know, therapist or, you know, wherever. And I saw this unique last name. I was like, that last name sounds familiar. And the next day, this one lady's like, you look familiar. And it was the person who I thought it was, who I used to work with in the healthcare field back in 2007. So I knew her, and she murdered her husband.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And somehow that got me in. We were in the same housing unit.
Yeah.
And that got me, a step into like, Allie's good.
She's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I,
Nice.
got in there. But
Yeah.
I learned to stand my ground. Like, you can let things slide by, try to humble yourself while you're in there. But there's just things I'm like, no, I'm going to politely set this straight. But I don't want to get in trouble too.
Yeah, it's a fine line to walk.
Right.
And there's just times where I was like, oh my God, I wish I had like alcohol or benzos. I was like, I
Yeah.
just need something right now because I cannot tolerate stupidity. Some of them are just plain out stupid. I was like, if
Yeah.
I keep hanging around some of these girls, I need to go to my room. But yeah, I had an inn apparently, and all those women that sat together all murdered their husbands. And they're like the nicest women. I was like, they seem a lot more happier
I was
now.
going to say, they're happier now.
So,
Yeah.
But there was also like, anyone in the pod would say, if you get the CTM, like allergy medicine, it'll knock you out. Go to sleep. So I would purchase that on commissary so I could get that good night's sleep and that feeling of just being able to
Shutting
calm
that
down.
brain off.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
getting out of yourself.
It's a substitution for that.
Yeah.
To help get some sleep. Because you don't really get sleep. They're always shining that light in every 15 minutes in your face. So I'd have to cover my head up, sweat to death, because it's either that or just don't sleep. So
Yeah.
you're sleeping during the day because you're not sleeping at night.
Yeah.
Unless you're sleeping on your face, and that light, they'll knock. If you're face down, they'll knock and make sure you turn.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a no-win. So
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
that institutionalized
Doesn't sound
nap was a thing.
Okay, so you're able to navigate that time in Dayton without like any incidents and getting extra time tacked on.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was like, I got moved to another unit because I was joining the dog program, so I could. So the employees, the COs there, could bring their dogs in, for like doggy daycare. A lot cheaper to do that than go take them
yeah.
to a boarding place.
For sure.
So the people that were low levels or the lifers, like, people that have a good record so
Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah.
So take the class to do the, training to make sure you groom them and how you need to have your cell, for the dogs, their schedules, like all that. I was excited to do this.
That sounds
Hell
And
yeah.
I get stuck with a terrible bunkie. And everyone's like, oh no, poor Allie, stuck with so-and-so. I was like, she can't be that bad. No, she was terrible. Like, we almost got in a fight. Like, I'm letting her just talk her ear off about she's a witch, she's doing this. And she goes from one personality to the next. I was like, this doesn't even require drugs or medication. And she's just crazy. And I'm just listening. I was like, oh, patience. I'm learning. Oh,
Yeah.
Yep. And now I realized you just got to let people talk. It makes them feel better. So she was getting on my nerves one day. And so I decided to pull out a smart remark. And I was like, it's getting crowded in here. You and your 14 personalities. And she goes, like, cussing me out. So we have tablets in prison. And you can make phone calls if you have money on it and everything. And she's talking to her boyfriend. Apparently I have 14 personalities. He had to have said something agreeing with me.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck you, Patrick. Because he apparently agreed with me. And then she was, running her mouth. She wanted to switch bunkies because I wasn't going to, take her shit. I wasn't going to let her push me around. So she was trying to, coordinate with someone else to see about switching. And the girl that she wanted to be her bunkie, that girl's bunkie I was in county with. And she was annoying. I was like, no. She's like, sense of entitlement. She's young. She doesn't shower very often. I was like, no, I know this girl. No. And she was, of a, different race. So, they get the case manager involved to try and, get it switched. I'm like, I'm like, there's no point switching. It's like, no. I go, I'm not signing off on this. Do we even get a say? So the sergeant pulls me into his office. He goes, apparently my bunkie and the other girl are saying I'm racist. And I'm like, well, okay. And the sergeant's black. And he goes, hey, do you have something against, my color? And I'm looking at him like, I wanted to laugh. I was like, no, my fiance's black. He goes, oh, they lying on you then. So I call my friend. I go, hey, if they call in reference, if I have a fiance who's black, your husband's my fiance. Play along.
Right.
They're like, we got you. We got you.
Yeah.
I'm not. But how do you prove you're not racist?
Yeah.
It's like, no, my fiance's black, and she got so pissed. She didn't get her way. I didn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, I didn't realize how smart and dumb you can be. Because the one that was saying I was racist, that my bunkie was talking to, has been locked up for 12 years, and she is a complete narcissist. She knows everything. Well, clearly not enough to get me locked up, but she comes up to me, pointing her finger, doing this, and she goes, excuse me, I don't think you know who I am. I'm like, you're an inmate. And I'm like sweating bullets at this. I'm like, because everyone's like, you don't want to be on her bad side. She'll make your life hell. Well, she's already tried.
Yeah.
So, I stood my ground. I was like, you're an inmate. What's going on? And she was saying, I can do this. I can do that. I was like, okay. I was like, I believe you. I go, so what's going on? I go, what's wrong? The case manager said this. I'm like, really? She goes, let's go talk to her. I was like, let's go. And that's when she realized I wasn't bluffing.
Yeah.
Because apparently something was lost in, some type of mixed, communication that, there was confrontation. And the case manager was a part of this, dramatic scene going on. So me and this girl called out the case manager. And the case manager was like, stuttering. And that's when I realized I got a little bit of respect from the girl that claims to know everything, that you don't want to be on her bad side, that I faced what I was supposed, I faced what I did, being only a couple months in, standing my ground, not backing down, but without some type of, cocky, arrogant attitude or anything like that.
Right.
So that helped a lot. And I had, girls that helped me navigate through there that were lifers that really helped me, feel a little more down to earth and just
secure in there a little bit.
Yeah.
So once you get out, what happens then?
Oh, I went back to drinking.
Yeah?
I did.
Pretty heavy?
Were you on papers when you got released?
Yes.
Okay.
18 months probation.
Okay.
So when I went to county, I filed my judicials, and I had almost gotten in a fight right after I filed my judicial with my bunkie that I had a problem with.
Yeah.
But they came and picked me up, went to county, had to wait 10 days. I didn't wash my hair, nothing. So they granted me early release, and I'm still waiting. It's like 2 days. I'm like, why have I not been released? I already have everything arranged. So I had my friend who I was going to stay with call my friend who works for the probation department. And they got, they took my file, threw it on someone's desk, and got me out the next day.
Sure.
Nice.
I don't know how long. It was going to be red zone, which means you would have been in your cell all day for a whole weekend because of short staff, because it's the 4th of July weekend coming up.
Right.
So I was like, oh no, I'm getting out. So I did. And I was to report to probation twice a week, drug test twice a week, because recently out, violent offender.
Yep.
So that's a 45-minute drive from where I was staying. And I had no car. I was like, oh, I'm screwed. I'm going back. But I had one drink. I had an Angry Orchard with my cousin who took me to go get my phone activated again. And we went to run some errands. One Angry Orchard gave me a buzz.
Yeah.
I was like,
after-
woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like starting all over again.
Yeah.
And then I went out for the 4th of July weekend drinking.
Sure.
I didn't have to report to probation until the following week.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna
Live
enjoy
it up.
myself.
Yeah.
And I tested positive for alcohol when I
Oh,
returned.
sure.
Like crap.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, instead of going every 3 months to see a probation officer, you are now mandatory to do, once a month. I was like, well, that's better than going twice a week.
Right.
To where, for a minute there, I had to go every other week and then down to once a month. So I was able to get that.
Yeah.
I was like, once a month? I mean, yeah, if I didn't test positive, it would have been every 3 months to report to probation.
Gotcha.
I was like, how do you really keep track of, people like that behind bars, that came out?
Yeah.
And you want them, to do this, and they have this requirement, but not follow some type of, schedule, have some type of consistency.
Yeah.
I was court ordered to go to AA twice a week, which I end up enjoying it. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Was that your first exposure to like a recovery program?
Yeah.
Was the court ordered meetings after prison?
Yeah.
And what was that like walking in those rooms for the first time?
It was, I felt defeated. I felt defeated when I went in. I felt like I was going to be judged, everything. So I remember the first person I went to hand the paper to, I was like, I'm going to be judged. And literally took the paper, signed it. They were like, he knew it was my first, and he was just very supportive.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, and I would sit in the corner like this in the room, like just listening. And I end up going like 4 days a week just, to get some, do something. And, when you hear like people trying to give you advice, and you're like, yeah, whatever. But when you hear it from a different voice, from a different person, sometimes it just clicks.
Yeah.
So that kept me coming back.
Sure.
Not just going my 2 days a week. I was going more because I needed that. I was like, okay, I'm not alone.
Hey, Mental Defectives.
Would you like to advertise on our podcast?
If so, email us at mentaldefectivespodcast@gmail.com.
So we can help you make a lot of money.
A whole lot of money.
It took me a minute. I was like, okay, I'm willing to try this out.
Yeah, there's something to
Didn't
this.
want to do like the program yet. I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
But I was there. So
So you get out, you're doing your couple meetings a week, do the 4th of July bender, and then do we continue drinking or
Yeah.
how's this? Okay, does this do we get back into like benzos or other drugs at this point, or sticking with alcohol still?
So I didn't tell you the additional stuff I was on. They had me on 150 milligrams of trazodone as well before.
damn.
Yeah. I was a mess. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't sleep, nothing.
Yeah.
So I still had the trazodone. I still had the benzos. I still had the Adderall, all the other medication. So the probation officer said something about, well, don't take it until if it's over 6 months old or more, they're like, you have to get a new script. I'm like, well, these are all from Florida. They're like, where were you? Well,
Right.
whatever. So I'd work around probation schedule at this point.
Yeah.
I didn't take the Adderall,
Yeah.
and I'd take the benzo, like part of a benzo to go to sleep. And then I realized I was cutting it too close. After I tested positive for alcohol, didn't test positive for benzos or Adderall yet. I had a little bit of both. They didn't show up, but the alcohol did. But I wasn't drinking a lot, but enough to where it tested positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going to chance that. I stopped the Adderall,
Yeah.
benzos. Trazodone's not controlled substance, so I'd take that because I couldn't sleep when I got out.
Yeah.
Loud noises bothered me. Sun changing,
Yeah.
dark, light, voices. I was very reactive to it. So I would take trazodone or like Benadryl, something like that.
Yeah.
So I know I wasn't going to stay on that path to be good. I was going to try and work around it as much as I could.
Fair.
So
As we do.
Yeah.
So then what's like the catalyst for like the last like drink or use in like starting to get sober?
So I was exhausted. I got approval to move back to Florida.
Okay.
So I'm back down there. When they did the transfer, it's no longer state. It is now nationwide for this. So if I were to go on the run or something like that, it is in the FBI database.
Right.
You will have a warrant out for your arrest,
wherever you're at.
Yeah. I was like, well, no pressure. Did not know this entire time my license is suspended, and I've been driving from June all the way to December.
Yeah.
I had insurance too.
Yeah.
I sold my truck but I had a car to drive, and I had insurance. How did you not check for a driver's license? How I found out October 30th, I'd bought a used Honda Civic. And so I went to get insurance on this car, and they're like, yeah, your license, they let me drive this car too, by the way. They just scanned my ID. They're like, your license is suspended. I was like, I've been driving this entire time? Like, that is, but did not get in any trouble. And I was like, well, I got to get back to Florida somehow.
Yeah.
So my friend was in the passenger seat, because once I got approval to go in the middle of November, 2 weeks from then, to go back, I drove the entire way. I was like, I know. I know, but I got to get home.
Yeah.
So I was able to reinstate my license by the beginning of December. So I paid a fine, everything, and I got my license back.
Nice.
So I was that was challenging. But what made me sober up wasn't that.
Right.
So by February, I was going out drinking. I got fucked up a couple times. But by February, after Valentine's Day, it's the 25th of February. I just decided, I'm done. I was like, because Tallahassee's so small compared to Cleveland, Akron, Columbus, all that. It's easy to run into people, public servants, all that stuff. I was talking to my friend who's a lieutenant for TPD. And he goes, yeah, this person works in the probation department. I was like, that's not my probation officer. Well, I'd be careful if I were you. We can go, this is where most of them hang out. I was like, well, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And I worked at FSU in the events department. I still had my job. I was working there before I went to prison. And then I still had a job there when I came back. And two or three of the probation officers worked in the events departments too, because you get to go to all the events and get paid for them.
Yeah.
Everyone wants that when they like basketball, comedy, things
No
like
doubt.
that.
No doubt.
So you can pick your schedule. So two of them would only work the basketball games. Nothing else. They just wanted to go to the basketball games. And so when I went to the probation department, I was like, this girl looks familiar. And I'd only seen her twice since I returned. And she's taking my picture for probation. Because, how that all worked out. There was a lot of miscommunication for the transfer, which I was not going to let slide because I would have ended up back in prison.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I recognized her. I was like, I know this girl from somewhere. She looked at me like, didn't even take a second, guess. So I saw her at work. I said, are you a probation officer? She's like, yeah. And I was like, I think you took my picture. She goes, yeah, that was you. You knew, and you weren't even going to say anything. I was just like, damn, like you see them, like they're that close to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is, kind of scary.
Yeah, sure.
So there's a lot of government jobs down there because it's the capital. You're going to run into, people you really don't want to run into when you're on the other side of the law.
Yeah, sure. So it was that made you want to sober up? That fear?
Part of it.
Okay.
Part of it was, but I was exhausted from trying to keep my schedule, when it came to drinking. But also, my probation officer was such a sweet guy.
Okay.
He was soft-spoken. Not like strict, like you need to do this. Well, how can I help you?
Sure.
Things like that. I was like, well, I don't want to disappoint him. Like he's been, if it was any other probation officer, I probably would have been like, whatever.
Right.
But however, he just kind of gave me that jump. Wasn't the rooms because, they're different than up here. They really are. But it's, if someone can make a difference. So when, him helping along those lines and also working with those two other ladies and another gentleman at FSU, of them not passing judgment because you're on probation.
Yeah.
Not once did they talk to me any different.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, this is possible because you feel really low.
Yeah.
When between drinking, drugging, on probation, in and out, of rehab, jail, anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but they didn't treat me any different. And then when I went out with my friends and it was on the 24th. I had 2 drinks and I'm watching them act a fool. I watched some of them doing illegal stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I lived that life, and I see how people go from, a very professional setting, working, a government job to sloppy drunk. Now I'm going to look at you different.
Sure.
And I was like, and that's being hypocritical on my part. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to live like this anymore. I see something good.
Yeah.
I'm starting to, I've cut benzos out. I've cut Adderall out. I had cut those out before the drinking. So I just started to see more. I was like, okay, I'm tapering myself off, like not trying to pat myself on the back. However, I was like, I'm starting to feel better. I'm sleeping better. I'm not waking up groggy. I was like, okay, now I'm starting without someone pressuring me. I'm starting to realize this is possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it took me a while to get to it.
Sure.
8 months before I took it seriously.
Sure.
So not just from being exhausted of trying to keep up, but the examples that I've seen and the small changes I made and people that believed in me without saying it and judging me, without judging me, that made a huge difference.
Yeah.
So I lost, some friends along the way because I don't live that life anymore.
Yeah.
And it was sad because I liked them, but I realized I, liked them for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
So that was bittersweet, but it's, my life. I got to make those changes if I want to do anything.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
And then what's life look like for you today? So you're living back in Ohio. You've got the cleaning company.
yeah. I actually started the cleaning company in Ohio before I left.
Okay.
Just for something on the side.
Sure.
And I named it after my English bulldog.
Oh,
So
Nice.
it was just something, I brought it to Florida. I had jobs down there. There's more jobs in Ohio. You have college apartments and apartment complexes that don't pay anything when you're a vendor, when you sign a contract with them. Up here, I've gone further south in Florida and, done well, but there's a lot up here, to offer. And, I have planted a name for myself up here and growing up here.
Yeah.
So, I have people that, have helped out, worked for me and kept this going who now they're like, we know you're capable of doing this. And in the rooms, when you hand out the business cards, your network grows.
Oh, for sure. Big time.
And that gave me a lot of confidence and, motivation moving forward.
Yeah.
And, and still working, doing other work as well. I've always had like 2 jobs. So between working for a roofing company and then doing the cleaning, I had my feet wet at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Keep them busy.
Yes.
No doubt.
So, and business picked up with the cleaning company, but I can't do too much when you don't have enough people. So I don't want to schedule too much.
Yep.
And when it comes to the job, how many people, the amount of hours, how much to charge.
Yeah.
It's going to, you can have a base rate. However, how much can you get for your money and how much, at least make 21% profit or more. That's the goal. And I looked at a job site for a 12,000 square foot house. So this job's going to be like 8 to 9 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at the profit margin there, definitely more than 40% for me in like a 1-2 day job, paying people 15 to 20 an hour.
Yeah.
Before hiring a window cleaning company because I can't reach 20 feet. But, there's always, my mind's always working. I'm no longer medicated for my ADHD. It shows with how, my brain won't slow down. So I got that going while I'm also, working for a roofing company. But also, I help out, with my boyfriend's, he owns a steakhouse. I also
nice.
fill in from time to time.
Cool.
Nice.
Bartending.
Oh, really?
Imagine that.
I'll tell you what, though, when I go make those drinks, those smells, I'm like, ugh, like.
Oh, yeah.
I do it like
You don't want
once,
nothing
once
to
a
do with
week.
it. Yeah.
I was like, it just brings back memories.
Triggers memory. Yeah.
So I don't have a craving. I smell the stuff, and I'm just like, no. But I do it like once a week, and he's in recovery too. He's
Right on.
Nice.
5.5 months sober.
Okay.
Okay.
I have 15 months at this
Yeah.
point. So, it's we kind of, the positivity, the environment, we feed off each other. I serve on other days to help out. So I'm doing like 3 different things to keep busy.
Yeah.
So occasionally I will help out behind the bar, but
Sure.
we're a full service, steakhouse. So I'd rather not bartend because you can make more money serving than you can bartending. But it's really, they needed a replacement because they had to let like a couple people go or they had quit. I don't remember, but they needed someone to fill in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll do it.
Right.
When I can.
Why not?
So
Nice.
Yeah.
And Allie, what advice would you have for someone? I want to say navigating the judicial system.
Oh, don't navigate it.
If you don't have to.
Don't.
Yeah.
Just follow the rules and you'll be all right. But the rules aren't
Solid
clear.
advice.
Yeah.
The rules aren't clear. It's to ask questions or you're not going to get the answers.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Because
Yeah.
I still talk. What helped me get through prison, there's a girl that's she's on her 3rd or 4th prison number.
Oh,
And she's from Mansfield, Richland County.
okay.
So she's telling me, she goes, yeah, this counts for your judicial. They look at this, they look at that, and other girls are saying, off the wall type of requirements that
Yeah.
they're micromanaging you. She goes, oh no, it's this, this, and this. She goes, trust me, my 3rd prison number, I got this down, but she ends up coming back. But,
Yeah.
it helped me a lot. And I still keep in
Sure.
communication with a couple of them at Dayton Corrections.
Sure.
And it helped a lot. And navigating out, she goes, yeah, if you do this, you do this, and this is how you get away with this is how you get away with that. But she goes, they're like, they don't care. They're like, they set you up for failure. But she goes, that's how I came up back here, because she didn't try hard enough to get better. She went back to getting high. So when she shared these stories with me in and out of lockup, I mean, she's still locked up, but she shared these stories with me. I was like, okay, I'm going to try the way, like, I didn't realize how much it was like hers.
Sure.
And I would have ended up with 2 or,
Yeah.
I could have done that.
Yeah.
But when
Easy.
she goes, this, if you don't have good resources, things like that, it's what's going to make a big difference moving forward. When I got out, I had, a good reputation. I had good rapport and a good support system. People I didn't realize who still had my back.
Yeah.
And that loaned me a car. And it was a nice one. It was a Dodge Challenger. And so how did I not get pulled over
Right.
that? But, I had that. I had somewhere to stay. I had a job as a security officer when I got out.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So I had that. I had a job, a good support system. When I told her about that, she goes, that's how you're going to do well. She goes, I didn't have that because I burnt so many bridges. She goes, I lost my trailer. My mom doesn't speak to me. My, dad died. My mom won't even tell me about it.
Yeah.
She goes, I burned so many bridges because I've done wrong by so many. And she goes, and it's taken me this long to figure it out because I played the system.
Yeah.
Right.
And she filed for her judicial. And while I was out, got denied. And she goes, I'm not surprised because I've done this one too many times. I was like, well, with that mentality that she has, that she realizes it and, accepting of it, maybe she'll do different than what she did the past 2 or 3 times.
Sure.
And, hearing that and sharing my experience since I've gotten out has helped quite a bit. I was like, yeah, I was obnoxious and, I thought I could do this. Even, don't want to screw the people over that have been a big help, but I still want to, live my life. I got a lot of time to make up for. That was a bad thought.
Yeah.
That was a bad thought. And, getting to know people behind bars, you can either take it for good or worse with what they share with you. It's how you interpret it. And, you see a common, common ground. We got in trouble. Some of them are repeat offenders, and it's for not following the rules.
Yeah.
And some of them have this idea like, well, I don't understand. I don't understand. It's like, well, did you ask?
Yeah.
But you also don't want to burn bridges with the probation officer. It's like going above their heads to get answers. So it's, communication, but it's
Clarify.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clarifying.
I get
It
Yeah.
is hard, and it's about who you surround yourself with
Sure.
too. Because if you go back into the same environment, chances are you're going to fall back into those habits because you want to, be a part of something. You want to be of the same in that way. But if you stand your grounds, if you stay not like say, hey, I'm like throwing fists or whatever.
Right.
But, wanting to make that change, having a backbone. It takes a while. It takes confidence. It takes motivation. You're not going to have the structure when you get out. You have to, and I realize
you can put that structure together yourself now.
Yeah. It's no longer them telling you when to get up, when to go to bed. Now you have to do it for yourself, and that is challenging.
No doubt.
Don't give up. You can build a support system. The probation officers can give you resources. I didn't ask. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's where it can be challenging. So that's where the gap is. From the time you get out, are they giving you everything you need? I didn't get any of that.
Sure.
So that's where I find there's a big gap. Why isn't this standard, requirement that you get it or that they have it presented for you when you exit? Not even just going to probation, but when you just, you leave
just
county.
exiting prison, giving some kind of resources to
a packet.
Set you up for success instead of just, here you go.
Yeah, that's what they do. You have your stuff and you leave. Why can't they have some type of packet ready? And then if you have that, that's already, step one. Doing the right thing. But you can't blame the system at that point. You can't blame because you've been offered that. Now you need to, follow the guidelines of what you were, told, and you have these resources where you can go. I think that's something that, should be looked into. Maybe other cities
and maybe
counties.
And maybe something does exist.
Clearly not in certain areas.
Maybe
because there's no one's perfect. Everyone has fault. Systems have fault. Someone can have a bad day and they overlook all your stuff because you don't want to be. You're an inconvenience at that moment due to their emotional state of mind. So. Some people do get screwed, and some people don't understand. That's a big problem I see. So just how can we bridge that?
Sure.
Not everyone's gonna want to follow when they get out. They're like, well, I survived it once I got out. How far can I push it? Like the mentality I had when I got out. Some people just don't care. Some people do. Some people look at a second chance and don't want to fall back into that, and they actually follow through. So.
Yeah, I mean, you at least want to have some kind of resources in place, and like you were saying, I'm sure there are parts of the country that offer stuff like that.
So, what advice would you have for somebody who's new in recovery or looking to get sober?
I didn't want to do the whole sponsor thing. I waited till I was like 4 months sober before I looked into a sponsor, but it really is about honestly, going to the rooms really helped me. Being around people, you're going to try to gravitate towards someone new, but you're going to be afraid to do it. I'm not, living by the book or anything like that, but just some type of encouragement. Having, they have peer recovery support. They should have them talk to them before they exit as well. Maybe like peer recovery support and passing out packets before probation. Just someone that's been in that shoes that, can relate, thinking out loud here. Because it's like jumping across, a river when you get out. That's how I feel it is. There has to be an advocate, and they have peer recovery support. And I think it should be within the jails and stuff like that.
Sure.
To help move that process along, because you need someone who's been in your shoes to help. And you have that person that's been in the shoes and you can relate to, I think it's going to help, because it's like, hey, look how far I've gone. This is where I was, and now I'm helping out. You need someone to try and give you some guidance that's not law enforcement or, a public servant of some sort. You need someone that's been in your shoes upon exit to help out, because they just want to get their job done. Okay, in, out, let's go. Next batch of people.
Well, and it's like that's the same thing you were saying with like what connected with you in the meetings. It's like people that have been, in your shoes, and then, you can relate to them on the same like wavelength.
Yeah.
Right.
that was a big thing. But if it wasn't court ordered, I wasn't gonna go.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you wouldn't have gotten me to go to those rooms without it being court ordered, and my probation ended back in December. But either way, I liked going.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
I'm a big proponent of like whatever gets you in the room. If it's a court order, if it's a whatever, like because I've seen people come in of their own accord and do great. I've seen people court order and 6 months of complaining and hating it, and then at some point that like light goes off and they go like, oh, maybe I actually should stay here and do this stuff. Yeah.
That's what did it for me. It took me a couple months before I took it seriously. I was like, someone said something and it just hit.
Yeah.
And there's one girl in there. She's been in Marysville. She's older than me. Fought like no other. I was like, that one. I want to get to know that one. How she's been sober 3 to 6 years. I don't remember the exact time. I want to know how she did it because she's feisty and I see myself very similar there. You want to find, similarities,
No doubt.
things like that. It's a very murky area, no matter which way you go, whether, even if you're not in recovery or you're trying to, help people get in there, you can't really help someone that doesn't want help themselves. There might be a rock bottom, but when are they going to see it? The justice system's going to do their job. You can't really force people that don't want to do it, though.
Oh yeah.
No,
But
they have to be ready.
Some do need to, need that little bit of encouragement.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So everyone's different. It's you're never gonna have 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Allie, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate making the trip. Love the story. Last thing before we get out of here, you were telling me when before we cut the cameras on that Rain makes corn and corn makes whiskey and Luke Bryan makes terrible music you'd never be caught dead listening to. What did you mean by that?
I didn't know.
It's a Mental Defectives podcast. It's Milligram, Jared with a G. Allie's here. We'll see you next time. Peace. If you or someone you know is struggling with drugs or alcohol, contact the House of Hope today
At hofhope.org or call for a consultation.